Here we go. All right, good morning, guys, and thanks for joining us. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Debbie Morrow, and I founded the Real Estate Agent Referral Network and Marketing Tips about 3 years ago. We're going strong at about 215,000 members, and I love watching you guys pass referrals back and forth in there each and every day. And on the pre-call already, we had a referral passed. Don't you love that? I love that you guys are doing business together. Ray is my co-host cohort, and we've got some really big things coming for the, okay, let me turn that doorbell off. I know Ray, I'm sorry. He always, he doesn't like the doorbell. Where? There.
I got it, Debbie. I'll shut it off.
Okay, are you co-host? Did I make you co-host? I was looking for you to do that. So Ray, where are you?
Oh
Ray.
no, I'm not co-host yet.
I can't find you to make you oh, maybe because you're up here at the top. Shoot. All right, okay, there's people coming in, so let me admit them. And then let me find Ray. Okay. So much as moving around. Every time I find you, it jumps. Ray, make co-host. There we go. Whew. Now Ray's the co-host, and he can do all that good stuff. So I don't even know what I was saying. Business passed back and forth already in here this morning. Amazing. Ray's my my partner in crime in here. And Ray, why don't you tell us quickly about the next 5-day challenge, because it kicks off really soon.
Sure. Hey guys, so I've been running for the last 6 months these 5-day challenges. It's built on the first pillar of my coaching program. And we talk about what your business actually is as a startup. We talk about networking, and we talk about influencing your sphere, not being a sphere of influence, so to speak. We talk about understanding your strengths and leveraging that for prospecting methods that make a massive difference in your ability to earn business. We talk about gaining momentum as you stack those three coming into your strengths and building a business that works for you and around your life, not the other way around. And then we talk about sustainability, which is the ability to actually build a business that's sustainable while keeping yourself afloat as a human, right? So many of us are just drowning. So the next challenge kicks off on Monday. It is 5 days. It's 1 hour a day of a live event inside a private Facebook group. If you join us for VIP, which is a whole $47, it's 2 hours a day, as there's an hour coaching session following that we dive deeper into all of the actual subjects that we're talking about and what we're doing. It's a great time. If you're VIP, you get access to the replays for life. There's a workbook that's paired with it. You get a free toolkit inside your portal that alone is worth a ton of different options and learning opportunities for you to build your business. So yeah, we'd love for you to join us. Closer to the end, we'll drop the link in here for you to register.
Excellent. Thanks, Ray. Another benefit of being a member of the group, you get to do Ray's coaching program for free. And he always has some amazing guests on there too. All right, so this morning, our guest speaker, I sent it out in the email last night for those of you who saw it. Have you ever tried to join a BNI and couldn't get in? Because the realtor and the lender categories are always full. Like, they are the most coveted. And once a realtor gets into a BNI, they are there until they die. Right? I mean, really. And so Chris is going to share with us his version. They've created a version of BNI that is actually free for realtors, and he's going to share with you all about it. So is the other Chris on here too, or is it just you?
Yeah,
we're both here.
There he is.
You are.
Yeah, we're both here.
I didn't see you.
I'll kick it off. Thanks, Debbie, for having us in. I'll do a brief intro of Chris and myself. My name's Chris Widener. I am not I'm not a realtor. My wife is, and my business partner, Chris, who you'll hear from in a moment, is. I am a writer and a speaker. I'm a member of the Motivational Speakers Hall of Fame. I've written 24 books that have been translated into 14 languages. And I was trained and personally mentored by two guys, maybe you've heard of, Zig Ziglar and Jim Rohn. And I wrote Jim Rohn's last book, a book called 12 Pillars. So my background is personal development, motivational, leadership, and things like that. Chris is a very successful realtor out of the Austin area, primarily in the area of golf course communities. He's an avid golfer and a very good golfer, I would say. And so that's his focus, is in real estate, in golf developments. So we were going to start a podcast, which we are now launching, but in the middle of one of our podcasts, a light hit me. And I realized that my quest for 7 years to build a better BNI was right in front of us. So I said it to Chris, and Chris said, "Oh, I've already been doing something like that here locally, personally." And what it is we created something called ROI Expert Advisors. ROI does not stand for return on investment. Well, it does, but not in this case. It stands for real estate, outside, inside. So the only people that come into our BNIs like groups called ROI Expert Advisors are people who are in real estate, such as realtors, mortgage, title, lenders, inspectors, surveyors, etc. O stands for outside the home: landscapers, gutters, roofers, cement. Inside the home, obviously, interior decorators, home stagers, electricians, plumbers, etc. What we think makes this distinctively better than BNI, especially for realtors, I'll add that on at the end. Number one, it's in a channel. You go into a BNI group, you have such diverse professions that there's really not a natural referral. Every single person in an ROI group is in that home care, home sales business. So you're working in that a lot. Second thing that we do is we have a personal development aspect, which every week I do a 5-minute video. Every person in every ROI group across America gets it. And then they get to have a 5 to 7 minute discussion about personal professional development. It's also about half the cost of BNI. We charge $50 a month or $500 a year. And then at the end of year one, it goes down to $40 a month or $400 a year to reward loyalty. But here's the beauty. The realtor pays nothing. You are our partners. We partner with you. You're able to do this, build it out. We help you. We give you all the training, all those kinds of things. There's one fee that we charge. It's $247 for the training. But once you put 10 people into your group, we refund you the money. We only charge it to kind of keep you accountable to act on the training. But once you build a group, we just give you the money back. And so an agent who builds a group will literally never have a single dime they have to pay to build this group. I will turn it over to Chris here in just one moment. I want to tell you about our guy in Cleveland, Ohio, actually in Chagrin Falls, Ohio. He's been in 6 months, and he has closed 15 listings out of his ROI group. He's our number one agent. They've done almost $2 million in referrals, and I think almost 200 referrals in their group in 6 to 7 months. So Chris is going to tell you about his experience and how it's affected his business by building out these networking groups. Chris.
Hey, Chris, thanks so much. Debbie, thanks so much for having us on. It's such a privilege to share with you guys, and what an incredible Facebook community that you've built. And I love seeing the faces. The only thing better would be there in person with you guys. So I'm a face-to-face like guy. So good to see you, Chris. Thanks so much for sharing. What we did about 7 years ago is I shifted from going out there hustling, chasing leads. I built my business working open houses, and I did open houses much different than the normal agent would do it. In fact, the company I was working with at the time, I mastered them so well that they started sending me to other brokerages across the country to teach the open house experience, which was really good. And leads can lead to sometimes great, but leads are always leading to exhaustion. And so what we did 7 years ago is I know the power that can come from a small group setting. Relationships can be created. You can do a deep dive on those that we do business with every single day in the real estate space. And so I built a group called Greater Value Network 7 years ago. We built this thing so freaky fast. I had a downtown office in Austin, Texas, and my business forever changed. This is how we were going to attract more and chase less. And so it's all about referral generation. Most agents will think and see and look through the lens of how do I gain more leads, which leads are good. They can sometimes lead to even great. But there's, as you guys know, have been in the business for a while, there's nothing like a warm, teed up referral. It's just, the wonderful thing is when I go into a listing, a presentation or a listing appointment, all those interviews that the sellers have lined up to come before me or after me, it's not there, because a personal introduction and a recent experience, someone that has referred me, it's like, you're the guy. So I show up. And so it's essentially what Chris and I built is a 20 to 25 person sales team. They're out looking for you. It's one person per category. We love BNI. BNI is a great organization. We cut out the noise. So we don't have car mechanics, and we don't have dentists, and we don't have massage therapists and things like that are more one-offs. What we did is we looked at the last 2 years of data, and the most referrals that were coming through were from real estate services. And so, because I have a large network here in the Austin, Texas area, and some are good, some are here and there, back and forth, but it's not heavy. It's not heavy like the real estate services has been so heavy. And so what we did is we created a real estate centric network where we know who we're attracting, who we're not bringing into a group. And this is going to allow for more referrals. And so 7 years of having built out this group, this month was actually my 10-year anniversary as a licensed agent. I've been a business owner prior to real estate, but I'm excited. I love it. It's not really work for me. I love people. I'm in the relationship business who happens to be in the real estate space. So I'm always out creating, building networks. I love that. So what we've done is for the last 7 years, really the last 3 to 4 years, because this is a long-term strategy. It's not a short-term anything. You want once you get this thing up and going, which is a sprint, it takes about 60 days to get your group or less. Chris mentioned the guy, our agent leader out of Chagrin Falls. He built this group in like 3 weeks. I built my group in 1 month, 7 years ago. But it's been consistently 60 to 70% of my annual production every year. My average sales price is about anywhere between $850,000 and $950,000. It's going to depend on where you are in the market. 300,000, some are over $1 million. But this is going to be a larger part. It's a healthier branch to your real estate business. It's complementary to what all that you're doing, but it's a bigger part of our real estate production. In fact, I don't do any other. I don't do any lead generation. All of mine is connecting with people and looking for opportunities, how I can serve them and how they can serve me. And it's very much of a we love BNI because they've kind of coined the phrase givers gain. But we also know that when you give and when you come into a group like this and you give exceptional value, and you look through the lens of how I can serve others and value others above myself, then I will get everything I want and then some. And so that's what we've done. Chris and I met at a real estate conference several years ago, and this is how we joined forces. So one of the biggest pieces that our agents receive and their group is the personal and professional development piece. 30-year, 2,500 speeches, 24 books in the Motivational Speakers Hall of Fame. Guys, you're talking to someone here that's the top 50 in the world, like names like Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn, Brian Tracy, Zig Ziglar. All these names, many have gone and passed on. But Chris and I have developed. So Chris is more of the personal and professional strategy piece, which a video is given every single week, and it just brings about richer conversation and deeper discussions on a specific topic. And then we come alongside, we provide the branding, the support, the training. It's turnkey. So once it's built out, and we help you, we're accessible. We help you build out your group. We come alongside you, and I've put the agent video, and I sent that to Debbie this morning. in the chat link there. And I wanted to spend some time with you guys. And Debbie, if we've got questions, we've got answers for you. And you can also spend some time with me on that link and book some time with me. I'd love to get to know you, find out more about who you are. But it's relationships, it's networking. It's exactly what Debbie has encouraged from her Facebook group page. So
excellent. Thank you, guys. Does anybody have any questions for Chris or Chris? I'm going to say just, oh, perfect.
So I'm asking for a friend. I'm asking for Monica. She wanted to know, do you have to change your name to Chris to be part of this organization?
Well, you learn the secret handshake if you change your name to Chris. Otherwise, everybody's welcome, but you only get the secret handshake.
That's right.
Okay,
Clarence, you read your mind. I appreciate it, but you weren't supposed to use my name, brother.
The hardest thing right now is Widener or Steggy. It's Widener and Steg. So you can, but yeah, it's the hardest challenge. But yeah, thanks, Clarence.
Anyone else have any questions for these guys?
I do. Hey, question now, when you're doing this, are you meeting at your office or are you meeting at a, at the back office of Denny's?
We have people all across the country and Canada. And it's actually kind of fascinating to see where people end up. We have people meeting in Panera Breads, public libraries, churches. My favorite one, we have 2 groups meeting in car dealerships. And if you think about it, that car dealer is brilliant. He's got 20 to 30 professionals walking through his dealership every week for a year. He's going to sell a car, right? At some point, they're going to sell a car. And so they just say, oh, we've got a training room. Use our training room. They're not even part of the group. They just say, use our training room. And so they meet anywhere that they can fit, 20 to 30, 10 to 30 people.
Yeah, and these are 1 hour weekly meetups. A lot of these professions that we attract, Lydia, are in the volume-based business. So their business is changing daily, not monthly, not even every couple of weeks. So we have found that 1 hour, it's structured. It's like a CrossFit, whether you are in Erie, Pennsylvania, Sarasota, Florida, Scottsdale, or Seattle, Washington, whatever the workout of the day is the workout of the day. And so we provide the content. It's just you facilitate. So it's 1 hour. It's and you go through 4 training sessions. They're about 20 minutes each on a step-by-step process on how to properly and successfully build out your group. And then Chris and I are on a Monday every week Zoom leadership call with all the other agent leaders that are building out their groups. And so we just want to make ourselves available. We want to help you guys build something great. Yep. Bernie looks like he's got a question.
Hey guys, sounds great. I'm from New York City, a little crazy here. I'm in a BNI group. I run my own networking group. I never heard of this, but this sounds amazing. I'm a realtor here with a ton of connections. Someone asked, what are the professional slots available to get filled in these referral groups? That's someone's question. But my question is, how do you get started on this? If I'm interested in working with you guys, how do I do that?
Yeah, it's really simple. So first of all, if you go to ROIexpertadvisors.com, you can see who joins ROI. But I don't know if you were here at the beginning, but R stands for real estate professionals, title, mortgage, etc. O stands for anybody that works outside the home, landscaper, gutters, roofers, cement, and I stands for inside the home, plumbers, electricians. But we've found about 33 different professions that work on homes. There's a couple that are a little peripheral, like some photographer, videographers, but they're going to end up being people specifically who are working with homes. But the way you get started is we drop the link in there. It's ROI Expert Advisors.
I just put it in the chat, Bernie.
Yeah, I put it in the chat. Yep. And
what's funny,
you just go there.
What's funny for me is I'm in New York City, so there's really no one outside of a home here. Everyone's inside of a home.
Oh, well, yeah, you know what? You're right. I mean, that's true, but
it's going to differ.
You know what you should do, Bernie? Go onto that page and schedule a time to talk to Chris, because that's really interesting. I hadn't even thought about that there are some areas that are so urban that it would be interesting how we would build a group there. That's a great one.
We'll call it RI. We'll call it RI.
RI. Yeah.
All right. There you go.
Realtors and insiders.
Yes.
I will tell you guys what's fun about this is that when you create your group, and it's going to differ. I'm in Austin, Texas. We're hot. Everybody has pools in Austin. But if you're in Calgary or other parts, or you're in the city like Bernie is, there's no pools. And so it's going to differ as long as the profession is centric to the real estate agent. It starts, everyone knows, it starts with the agent and then it trickles down through all the other professions. And so that's going to differ. Bernie, I'm happy to have a conversation with you on professions that you might be
Yeah,
seeking
totally.
out. But I get majority of my referrals come from my outside and inside because they're in sometimes 12 to 15 appointments a day. So like my flooring rep is a good one. My residential cleaning company is a good one. Home automation. These are people that are in homes every single day. And I'm not on 15 appointments a day, but they are.
Well,
And
then you
so-
multiply that by 20 people and you've got 300 potential referrals every
Right.
single day, which is why this really works. In regard to getting started, you just go to that ROIexpertadvisors.com/agent-video, pay the $247. You'll get an email immediately to you, and it will show you where the training page is. All the videos are there. It tells you when our Zoom call is. You can join us on Mondays. You can schedule a call with Chris or myself, and we just start helping you build out. And we walk you through. We try to get
as
you
far
up.
as season goes, this is the time. This is the time that you plant seed. This is the time that you nurture those relationships where everyone's coming back from summer vacations. School is starting. September it should be thought through like a January to most people. If us as real estate agents can start to build in September, we get to reap a harvest. It's like any farmer will tell you. You start planting seeds, you start nurturing those, and then you get to reap massive fruit in the springtime. And so this is when business owners are ready to receive those calls. This is the time to build it. This is when most of our agents are coming into now building out their groups. So, hey, Dana.
Hey, thanks.
Morning.
This sounds really great, Chris. And I'm in Los Angeles, and we're really spread out here. And what I've noticed, a lot of the professional networking groups have gone totally virtual, and many of them aren't even going back to live. So curious from your perspective how this would work in a big city like LA, where it's so sprawled out. And then second question for me is that I'm re-entering real estate after a break. I was caring for my mother, and now that I'm back, I feel like I've moved to another neighborhood. I don't have any connections, and this would be obviously a great way for me to rebuild my industry connections. But where would somebody like me that doesn't have an existing network to just plug into this?
Well, we actually do a training on that, on how somebody can start, and we use LinkedIn. You can search around your city, you can search for an area, and you just go in there and you start making connections. And then we teach you how to hold a party where you can, or some sort of a gathering, a cocktail hour kind of thing, and you just invite tons and tons of people and tell them you're putting together a networking group. And when they get there, you pitch them. So we would help you train. We would train you on that. As far as the virtual goes, we really recommend in person. And I would think that if you can get together, and it might take you a little bit longer to build it maybe, but I think if you can get those people in a room every week, you're going to be far better off, I think, than the virtual.
And Dana, this is also too, when you can look for people, we start with we call it our core four. These are people that have similar hunger that we do. They're in similar seasons. They're business driven. They might have a little bit of a bigger network than we do. So think of a lender, think of a financial advisor, think of an insurance agent, PNC, think of a roofing representative where they're on roofs every single day, or they've got a large database already, but they're helping you. They're coming alongside you. So you as the agent leaders, y'all aren't building this by yourself. You got the support of others, and it's the multiply effect. So it's not just you out there. We don't want to add anything to your plate. This is just
we actually have a worksheet, and
right.
It has all the professions on it. So the first thing you do is you sit down and you go, okay, who do I know? Well, I know these 4 people. You invite them in, and then they go, yeah, this sounds fantastic. Let's do it. Then you get those 4. Well, does anybody know a plumber? Oh yeah, I got a great plumber. Okay, perfect. Well, I know a plumber too. Perfect. Contact those people, invite them to the next group. And so you build it out slowly like that, using other people's recommendations and referrals into the group.
And it can grow very, very fast. I mean, but it is a marathon, and we want this to be a marathon for you. It's a sprint. It really is a sprint. And so we help you. We come alongside you. We have a growth development. This is, once again, this is free for you guys. This is free. We help you. We want to give the 247 back to you quick.
You know what this is kind of like? I never thought about this,
actually
Chris. It's kind of like, Zig Ziglar, those of you who remember Zig, do you remember what he used to do with the water pump? It's kind of like the water pump. You got to do a lot of energy at the very beginning, right, to get it going. But eventually that water starts coming, and then it's just nice and slow and easy. That's a really good analogy for building an ROI group. There's a lot of action in the first 6 weeks to 2 months, getting people, calling people, getting them registered, all that. And then the referrals just start to flow in and move, and it becomes a lot easier.
Does that help, Dana?
Yeah, it helps, except I got one question. At $247 a head, where's your ROI?
What do you mean?
We make it.
We actually give that money back.
We do. We
keep it to hold you accountable to do your training, but
gift.
we give it back.
I mean, it really is it's a no-brainer. Like we've created this gift, and it's like, here you go. We've created the foundation, we've created the system, the process, the training, everything. It's just you come alongside, and we can't build your groups for you, but we can come alongside you because it's all relationship. And I would say in Los Angeles, yes, it's huge. Austin, Texas, we're big. These are best grown in little smaller markets.
Suburbs,
I work golf
suburb.
course community. So if I have a niche, I'm going to work, if I work downtown, if I work urban areas, I'm going to find a location that's centric to that area, and I'm going to find professions that serve that area. And that's how you,
Chris, can you tell them also about our charitable arm, what we do?
Yeah. So I'm a member, actually, I'm a board member for Austin Angels. They have actually National Angels brand. And so we invest into the next generation. I have a heart for youth and children in foster care. And so we take the funds, a lot of what the funds, the proceeds that we receive from every single month from dues, and we give a large portion into the next generation. So you can go to nationalangels.org, austinangels.com. You can see my information there. And so we invest. And so that's a large part of what we do. This is a business. And so some might ask, well, what am I paying for? Well, you're paying for exclusivity. This is a sales team. It's structure. It's commitment. You guys know buy-in is important. So if it was free, it was free. You're not going to have, there's no structure. There's no buy-in. And so we even talk through that. How might someone say, well, what's the funds going to? And so anyway, yes, Lydia.
Just a quick question, and I think you've answered it, but I want to make sure. Excuse me, I got 2 dogs trying to crawl all over me right now. When you said I've got X, I got Y, I got Z. Now, is it limited when you're going in kind of like the BNI that we've only got one landscaper, one plumber, one financial person, or is it we've got 3 financial people?
One person per category.
That's what I wanted to make sure.
And so, and so once you have these core 4 people, it's easier for us as an agent leader to make decisions because we get their feedback. We get their insight. Hey guys, as plumber, hey, we want to look for like, who's teachable, who's well networked, who's driven, who has a database, who can add the most value. I mean, you guys know as agents, we can get lender lunches every single week. A lender would be part of your group just like that. But are they the best fit? Could they provide the best value to the overall group? And so these might not be friends. They might be contacts that you want to develop a friendship with because you want people, most importantly, that are driven, that are out there, that think through the lens of entrepreneurial. And so that's going to be your best fit. And so we help you qualify and make sure that you're talking with the right people.
Yeah, we actually, at the very beginning, we have that 4 weeks of training, but then we have ongoing training every Monday that's just drop in. It's free. It's all part of the deal. And we have a lot of agents that just pop in, and some of them are going through the initial training, and some of them have already been through and they just like the friendships, and some of them are just popping back in to ask a Q&A or something. So
and what we love hearing is these aren't just business contacts. These are friends. These are people that you're, my 40th birthday many years ago, my wife had my network. She had my database. And so about 70% of my 100+ partner network in my city all showed up to my birthday party. And so these are friends. These are friends. Oh, okay. So that's what's most important. Is not only these are going to be business contacts, but these are going to develop into more deeper friendships. So you're looking forward to. That's what we're hearing
Okay.
throughout the
So
country.
two
Yes.
things, Chris.
Yep.
Somebody asked in the chat if they were like if you bought a town type deal, and so I want you to talk about that. And then also, Trina asked, do other non-real estate businesses pay the 247 or
Oh,
just the
gotcha.
monthly?
That's a good
Oh, yeah.
question. So no, the
Great question.
training is for just the agents, the 247. So they pay the 247. We refund it when they get to 10 people in their group. Yes, we give some exclusivity to areas, right? And we've kind of said 25,000 people and below, we would only have one agent group there.
Group.
But for example, the greater Chicago area has 95 suburbs that could host at least one one of the groups, and some of them could hold 2 or 3 of those groups. So we are trying to keep people away from other people and give them, but we're relatively new, and so we don't have that problem yet. But in Austin, we already have 4 or 5 groups already, mainly because Chris is down there. But we're going to do an event in Austin next month, and we're actually going to have a blown up map with all the areas, boxed in. And then they can sign up for that particular area, and that will give them that exclusivity. As for what the other folks pay, they pay a one-time startup fee of $149. We spend $80 of that $149, and we send them a really nice boxed gift with some things that are, fun, like a Yeti drink holder and a journal and a nice pen and all those kinds of things, but also some of the tools for sharing referrals and those kinds of things. They have an option to pay either $50 a month for a year, or if they want to pay up front, which about 20 to 30% of our vendors do, they pay up front the $500. It saves them 2 months. And then at the end of year 1, like I mentioned before, we drop the price because we want to be loyal to people who are loyal to us. And so you'll go down to $40 a month or $400 a year for the vendors after the year 1.
And there's no administration action on your part. We take care of all that.
Yep.
Everything's done through us. So
process it, send all the emails, everything.
Yep.
So Matthew asked in the chat, when you do events and get-togethers, is that paid for by the agent, or how do you go about that?
We actually do a lot of we do a lot of things here in our area. Many of the times it's the lenders. Nobody pays for lunches or breakfast, as far as everyone's individual. And so if you meet during lunch hour, or if you meet during breakfast at Panera Bread or at a a private dining area, you just get with the restaurant manager. We talk about this in training 1. You want to get, is it a buffet? Is it a set menu? They individually pay for that. So there's no group, no agent leader that's paying for any space whatsoever. They get the restaurant or the church building, whatever it may be, wherever they're meeting. They just love having people that fill that room every single week. And so,
but if you did want to put on a little event, who will pay for it? And if those of you who've been in the business for a long time, you'll know this. Your mortgage guy will pay for it.
they have a budget to do
mortgage
that.
and title. They have
Title.
a ton of money. If you go to your mortgage guy and say, "Hey, I can put 30 to 50 professionals in a room for a little cocktail hour because I'm building a network group," he's like, "Who do I make the check to?"
Yeah.
He's happy to do that as long as you hold him up on stage and say, "Hey, this is Joe, and he paid for everybody's hors d'oeuvres tonight."
Right.
And if you need a mortgage, call Joe. I mean, they've got all that money to help with realtors.
Yep. And since somebody said, what about Knoxville, Tennessee? We don't have a group yet in Knoxville, Tennessee. So we launched back in October of last year. I'm still active, very much into production. I'm a listing agent, but about 70% of my consumption every single week is building out ROI. And so Chris and I are in on this and helping agents across the country.
And I'm just down the road. I'm just down the road from Knoxville. I'm down in Chattanooga.
Yep. Well, I don't have. All right.
Danny's a lender.
There you go.
That's
Okay,
okay.
gotcha. Well, you can always go into, there's always other professions, and we guys, there's so many creative ways to do that. I mean, we have a really nice here in Austin. If you're in a big city, you've got these nice hotels with these nice lobbies or these nice restaurants with couches and pool tables and hangout. I mean, people come and they want to congregate in an area that's just warm and inviting and a little bit more of an intimate setting. So you can call me, and I've got a workbook of creative ideas on how to create events. I'm an event guy, so I love events. So
Chris takes his group to Top Golf a
Topgolf.
couple times a year,
Topgolf,
and
I
they
haven't-
have 70 to 100 people out for
Yep.
Top Golf nights, and they do that a couple times a year. So these are really about, I mean, the core nuts and bolts. What you want to do is build business, but you end up with a lot of friends and a lot of people you can help out. And we encourage the groups to do some charity stuff from time to time. Go make a difference, work at the food bank. Pack some backpacks for kids as they go back to school, all sorts of things that these groups end up doing together.
I love
Excellent.
this, you
Okay.
guys. I'm
Thanks,
gonna be in
Monica.
Chattanooga tomorrow. Does that mean that I get an in-person coffee?
I'll tell you what, if you send me an email and if I can find a time to do it, I'd be happy. My wife and I'll come and meet you and that'd be
Perfect,
fun. She's a realtor as well. So yeah.
perfect, perfect.
My email is
Excellent.
widenergroup@gmail.com. My last name, widenergroup@gmail.com. Shoot me an email, and if we can do it, we'll do it. That'd be fun.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you guys so much. There was
you,
a
Debbie.
lot of great discussion around what's going on and how to get involved with what they're doing. So I think this was a really valuable way to spend our time this morning. It's 8:40 and I want to get in at least one breakout room. So we're going to do that now. I'm going to turn the recording